Hello friends, we are back in Missouri. The kids just went out sledding. Not sure if that's the last snow for this year, but next week it's gonna be warm. So if you have been following us, we have been in China for 3 months with the kids to take care of my dad who has brain cancer. So we just got back to Missouri and I'm working on the schedule for March, April, and May because before we left, they were doing Ambleside Online year 2 and year 4, and they were doing term 3. But since we couldn't bring all the books to China, we mainly did those that we have on Kindle or Audible, but we didn't bring all the books. So now they finished some books for year 2 and year 4, not others. So I'm working, like playing around here to see what we should do from now on. For Elijah, my younger one, he pretty much finished year 2, so he'll start year 3. Ambleside Online year 3, it's pretty straightforward, but it's not perfectly aligned because we went ahead with the history books, Our Island Story for British history and This Country of Ours for American history. You can see we are way ahead for those, but I didn't bring the biographies that go with the history. So we'll catch up on Marco Polo, Queen Bess, Bard of Avon, Shakespeare, and Michelangelo. So it's not perfectly aligned. Hopefully they still remember and can make some connections. So there are books we'll catch up and continue, like Parables from Nature and the Children of the New Forest. That's the literature book for year 3, term 2. Term 1 was Princess and the Goblin. We did that on audiobook when we were in China. So for Elijah, it's okay, pretty straightforward. But for Chris, he finished most of the work for year 4, but he has most of the George Washington's World. It's kind of like the history spine for year 4 that we didn't get to do in China. So it will take some time to finish this one. And for year 5, it continues to Lincoln's World. So this is like during this time, what's happening around the world. So talking about important people at the same period. And I really don't want to skip this one. So Chris will catch up on this. And while he catches up on this, we can do Lincoln's World. And since he's not doing that for History Spine, I want to wait for biographies too, since it's the same time period. So it's a little, I have to play around with that. So he's doing some year 5 work and catching up on that. So I'll have him do some year 5 work that's not like time sensitive, like geography, science, maybe some literature, and he'll do a mixture of year 4, year 5. So that's what I planned. It's not a strict schedule, that's more of a flow for me to know. So we like to have a routine. At first, I'll refer to this, like I even noted for myself what's on Hoopla, what they'll read, etc. But after a while, it will become more smooth and we'll just do the next thing. So in the morning, we'll start with poems, art study, first reading with narration. Second, so this one is listening to, because Parables from Nature is quite difficult. We'll listen to the audiobook. And this one is they read aloud, so that changes a little. And then like jump rope or ping pong break, and we'll do some map study. I brought, like we have a world map in English and in Chinese, so we can know the countries in both languages. And I think it's good for kids to see that, you see the maps are different because each country, like I think for Europe, it's different too. Like people like to put ourselves in the center of the world, understandable. And US map and China map. And that's Chinese dynasties timeline. So we can see like those years, for example, it's Ming Dynasty. At the same time, I think this time it's Cromwell, Commonwealth in Britain. So we can kind of hopefully have an idea of how it aligns between China history and world history that we are reading about. And after that, we have a third reading in the morning. It's year 3 books, Da Vinci, Landing of the Pilgrims. The literature one, the heroes, is Greek myth. So we'll do like this one Monday, this one Tuesday, this one Wednesday, etc. So those, it's not like we're reading 4 in one day. We read 1 per day and rotate, because each book they just schedule a little per week. That's how Charlotte Mason philosophy works. You read a little bit of one book every week, and it takes longer to finish the work, so you ponder about it during the week. You work more with it, and you make connections. It sticks more than finishing it in 2 weeks. So it stretches out, like usually 12 weeks for like a term for these books, and then go to the next books. And then they'll do written narration or handwriting. For Chris, he does written narrations for his readings, like George Washington's World, and I'll show you the other books for year 5. For Elijah, he'll start 1 written narration per week. Otherwise, it's just handwriting, copy work. And math in the morning, we are doing Beast Academy with some supplements for Elijah for fact fluency. And lunch break, we'll do piano and Chinese app, 红恩识字. And to break a little, in the afternoon, we have, let me show you the afternoon books. In the afternoon, we do science. We did zoology with Apologia. we did sea animals. So now we have botany, earth science, that's about the same level of difficulty. After that, we have physics and chemistry. After that, human body. So I asked them between botany and earth science. They voted for botany. We'll do that. And Robin Hood, that's the year 2 book that Elijah didn't get to do. So we'll do that one. And Chris, that's year 5 readings, Answering the Cry for Freedom, that spreads out from year 4 to year 6. And for year 5 geography, that's the Book of Marvels, Occident and Orient. But that's not color photos, but there's a website that goes with it with colored photos. Okay. And story of inventions, that's more like science. And Chris will start Plutarch's Lives, and that's Greek mythology. So that's 5 books. Again, he'll do 1 per day in the afternoon. So like each book get read 1 time per week. Like it's a rotation. And this is for Elijah's reading practice. It's on the free read list for year 2 or 3. Hopefully he'll be interested in because it's about horse. So we'll start with that. And that's about that. In the afternoon, we have about 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour and a half in the afternoon. So 1 hour for these, and 30 minutes for Chinese books. That's story, like picture books that they can read that's pinyin, so they can read some of that for reading practice. And I'll read longer books. For example, that's Chinese history. It uses cats for the kings, generals, etc. It goes through Chinese history, so hopefully I think they'll love it. It's cartoon. If you haven't seen it yet, I made a video, the video before this one, to show all the books we brought back from China. That's Narnia. We got the whole Narnia series and a lot of books, 6 suitcases of books from China, if you want to check that video out. So that's in the afternoon. And in the evening, after dinner, we'll have family devotion together. We are in Ruth. After that, 1 Samuel. So we are reading Old Testament now, 1 chapter per day, and do Bible verses. And we rotate between, that's Apologia, I think. That's a 4-book series for theology for kids. That's Generations, church history, and Trial and Triumph. It's a church history on the Ambleside online reading list. So we'll rotate between those books and sing hymns and pray. So it's about half an hour family devotion. And before going to bed, like at bedtime, they'll listen to English story. I think we'll start with Jungle Book or Secret Garden. And I'll read them Chinese books. I want to start with Narnia. Chinese translation. So that's the schedule. Oh, let me show you. That's all the Chinese books we brought back. These two, and those are English like books I already acquired for Ambleside online curriculum. So for poems, Ambleside online recommends poems for each year. We read one poem per day. Like they each read one per day, so 2 English poems, and I read them some Chinese poems. And for picture study, we have this National Gallery collection from I think it's a British museum. And I just got some books about Chinese 水墨画, so we'll do like rotate, do some European art, some Chinese art. So that's our new routine. I know we will definitely have to like adjust as needed as we go. We'll start on Monday, and I'll let you know how it goes.